Welcome to Factorio Base in the Book. My name is Nilaus, and today in this episode we are going to start making trains. So I'm going to make trains in this episode, and first, thank you very much everyone who's been following, liking, sharing, subscribing, all of that good stuff. Thank you so much for that. It means a lot to me that when I'm starting a new Factorio series to see that there is actually a genuine request for it, and that I found something that you find interesting. So, trains. Maybe before we start making trains, we've kind of highlighted where I want the trains, but before that, there are some things that I know that a lot of people have been commenting, like, okay, because you're building all of that crap, shouldn't you be rushing robots so you could have the robots build it? And I completely agree, except that the objective of this is to make a really nicely structured base that is very modular and extremely aesthetic in its design. And for that reason, I have removed the ore patches inside my base so that I will be saying I will only get things in beyond my starting location from trains. And that's what I'm going to do. So what I've done between sessions is, of course, expand my city block pattern so that I have room for all of what I need. Now, you don't need to do this if you're doing something similar. I do this because it looks better and it gives you a better presentation of what I want to achieve. Likewise, you don't need such a robust defense, but again, it looks better. So I decide that I want to do it this way. So what we want to do is we want to take this one because this is the first one that's outside of our domain. It's kind of silly that it's like right outside, but I want to show you the principles, and the principles are exactly the same whether we use this one or that one. So, but it would not be the same if I just took this one and belted it in here. Then it wouldn't be the same, and that's why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. So, it basically makes it so that it is as clear as possible for you what the intention is, but you can do that in more or less extent depending on what you actually need to do. And you know what? That's an awful lot of things I don't really need at this point. I can also just throw that away. Okay, that was just maybe not the smartest thing I could have done. We'll cut that out in post. No one will ever know this. So anyway, we need a few items for our trains. I'm going to make 4 trains. That means 1 locomotive and 4 wagons. They will be one directional. And the reason why I'm doing it that way is I think it just makes a lot more sense. There, and that one, and I'm gonna put 1 back here. There we go. And right now we'll just feed them easily with some coal, and that should be fine. So let's go and live, because what we really need is actually our iron to come in here. I mean, yes, the iron is just fine right now, but as soon as I start making steel and stuff like that, then it's not gonna be fine. So I will need to find a way to build that in a more reasonable manner. Let me see. So what I want to do is I want to make here a train station. And how are we going to build the train station? Well, first of all, we're going to put the train stuff down here. And that one, signals, and there. Good. So if I look up here, this is always just how I try to find like the middle. If we look at this, this is the only really option of making the tracks. Like I could make them out here, but that would be too far between. Unfortunately, this is not a good layout. 2 in between, not great. You'd really want to have the ones with 3 in between, but that's not an option with my city blocks. And that is what it is. So we're gonna have to accept that this is the way that our city blocks have to be built. So we are going to... Oh, there's going to be so much dirt in this episode. Dirt. So the first thing we want to do is just make the one that passes all the way through here. Oops, and someone hasn't been blowing up things adequately down here. There. Right, so at this point, this is what we want. Now, one of the most important things about this is that it needs to be ready for the later on when I have when I have roboports. So I'm gonna do that, puts there, and lights, yes. So just take out the lights that were part of the blueprint here, because I mean, as much as I like lights, I don't bother going around and putting the lights in here. So I need to make sure that whenever I build, or wherever I build, my design here will be not conflicting with the roboports, so that I can actually build those later on as I need to. But I want to make it as close as possible to the roboports. 2 and there. Looking good. And I will do something. I am going to define that I'm only coming into this build from the south. That is much easier, and that basically means we shut it off here at the top. What about all the good stuff that's up here? Yeah, well, get the good stuff that's down here. You go out here and then you grab stuff from this area. You can later on do this, expand it up here. We might do that in a very late game, but that's not really what is sort of the core of what we do here. That means I don't need to be able to come from there, because everything that comes in comes from the south. Only from the south are you going to. So what the hell is this thing you're building? Hold on, is that correct? Yeah, it is. There. All right, so we have always right-hand drive. Comes like this. It goes into this side, goes around, and this will be the stacker. So I'm going to take this part without these. There. So now they can stack 4 trains plus probably 1 here, and then get it into the middle. So now the next part we want to do is figure out where we want to make, or where we can make the train. Let's try making it as far forward as possible, and then look at, oops, these locations. So that's the basic premise of it. 4 trains. Let's see, is this... It's just way too much not at all in the middle. So we can probably take, and we should probably take this just a few tiles back. It can't be going anywhere there. I'm just trying to see what would make sense. Yeah, it definitely has to be further up. Let's cut this out. And then do it as a ghost instead. So ideally, we would want something that's in the middle. 1, 2. Oh, right. And now I get it. Ah. There we go. That's 4 wagons. And that's looking way more accurate. Okay, we'll reestablish. I thought that it did surprise me that there was suddenly so much room here. Now I want to make sure that we can unload from both sides, because I'm gonna get a 1-4 train in, and it will eventually here need to go into 8 lanes. Technically only 6, because these are only consuming half, but still. So what does that mean in terms of sort of the sizing or the build? Well, if you've been following some master classes, then you know that I have or some of my previous series, I have an affinity for this way of unloading trains. So I'm just gonna show it to you, and then we can talk a bit about why it's so good. There. So this one, first it unloads into a box. That's pretty simple. Then it unloads from the box, not onto a belt, but onto a splitter. So instead of having sort of what we've seen so many times before, like having 6 here, I'm deciding that I only want 4 of them. That means I'll have a bit less storage, I'll unload this train a bit slower, but unloading the train will never really be a bottleneck anyway. And the advantage is that if I unload from here, and we're talking like late game with blue belts and green, fully upgraded green stack inserters, then I can unload quite a lot more into a splitter than I can onto a belt, which means this is actually going to easily be able to fill up a full blue belt at the late game. So I want to do this one because, well, it works. Here and here. And then we'll figure out where is the middle of this. This is going to be the middle. So we are going to take a balancer This is a 8x8 bouncer. It is unfortunately, it does have a few, let's call them disadvantages. It's blue, that's one of them. And the other disadvantage it has is that it does not balance on the side. So we have to make sure that we can balance on the side. That gets downgraded and that gets downgraded. But this one is no longer working. But we can fix it. I've been just looking at it and see it is actually possible to fix it. Like this, now it's fixed. So this is going to be our input, 8 lanes coming from the train station, going in here, getting balanced, but not side balanced. Which in and of itself is a shame, but the thing is, like, I don't actually mind that it's not side balanced because this is consuming evenly and we have a side balancer here. The only issue is this one, because even though I output side balance it, then here, this has a tendency to, you can see here, just not consume evenly. When the consumption of iron or steel is not 100%, then it will vastly over consume on one side. That means we need to make sure that this is going to be built. I am also going to kill all of this because that's not how we're going to do it right now. Boop, boop, boop. You go in there. I'll let you empty, just nice and slow, while I build all the other stuff. Yeah, so this is good. I'm gonna get that one in here. I'm gonna get this one in here. Where's this coming from? There. And I'll go the other side as well. These two. Well, they're gonna come from the other side of the fence here. Like that. Which will have pretty much something similar to this. Can I just take the whole damn thing? Yeah, I can. Whoops. Rotate like this. And it'll be slightly different, I suppose. Because it'll be like this. This one, clip. And when I say clip, I mean it's the flip, but you use the G key, so it's not a flip, it's a clip. There and there. All right, that actually works. It of course isn't set yet. I am also going to set something here, and this is when things get a bit crazy for me because I actually have to go to my Twitch channel and do a command that's called arrows. Because I want to have an arrow in this here. So I'm gonna not call it Bobby Fender, thank you very much, Bobby Fender. But you're not gonna be here. I'm gonna name it assembly machine because that kind of represents my main base. And then I'm space, and then I'm gonna do an arrow. This is just a normal HTML arrow. I don't know how you do it, but you can copy it from somewhere else. And then you can put it in. And I have it on my Twitch command. I have a command called arrows where the links those, and it's every time I need to build arrows, I'm also always copying from here. It might be a bit silly, but that's how it is. So at this point, since we only have one, we really don't need to make the enable train limits and stuff like that. So that's not so important. Let's look at the here. That one, and we can get some lights as well. Here's the lights. There's still room for a loader right there. This obviously should be something more robust than just yeah, just like that, but it isn't. So we'll just make we'll just get a bit of coal that we can feed into this one, so we can have the trains running for a while until we get some better builds. Oh, let's continue until we have there. That goes into this one, so we get there. And it's of course really silly to do this, but it just needs to run for a while and then it'll probably run out. All right, let's look at signals. So this signal here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's room for 5 stations or 5 wagons. So that means we can have one train parked in here, 1 train parked out here, and then 4 trains parked here. That means we can in a total get 6. So we're going to set all of these up here. That one, and the change signals there, there, and there. And this part here, well, I'm just going to go with one of them. This one will just be here, and then it'll wait for boom, boom, boom. We'll come back to it. And on the other side, I am going to take that one. There. And, well, I think I'll build it here. And then the question is, like, if I have this one here, because I'm going to have them next to each other. So the question will then become, is there room here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, so there is room. And that means this one should also be at a location where 1, 2, 3, 4, not 5. I'm basically making sure that there's enough room here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Still 4. Because this means the trains will be much smoother in their way of operating here if there is a... There. Now there's room for 5 trains. And beyond this, from this one up to that one, there's always also room for 5 wagons there. So I'm going to take that one. And basically, actually it doesn't need to be because it just merges in like this. Unfortunately, I don't think I can do the same thing for this here. No, I can't. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's no way I can make that into 5, unfortunately. So it'll go out here. It's going to be fine. This is not going to be like extreme throughput. We've actually managed to clear this out, so that's good. All right, so what I want to show you is how this one is going to come in here. Because obviously the lower 4 are going to, well, I don't know if that's obvious, but the lower 4 are going to put into the steel parts. This will be the steel part. Like this. And if I do this, then I'll have a problem with the balancing of this these lanes here. So my problem with the balancing will be that these come out, but they'll be very, very heavily favoring the left-hand side. So I actually need to make a balancer here so that I lane balance the input materials. It gets a bit advanced, but that's an input balancer that's placed in a corner. Or a lane balancer in a corner. It looks a bit weird to have this, but it's actually super critical to do that. If you don't do it, I mean, of course it's going to work. But, you know, we built all of this to make it nice and clean and crisp, and then if it doesn't work, then it's kind of sad. So this one goes all the way up to the top, to this location. Just barely getting in there. Oh, you bet that one is going to be here. Damn. And the last one. And then, of course, we have some... Yeah, so what it is we've done right now is we built a station here. And I think it looks pretty good. And it'll go in here. It'll feed in. That's going to be great. I'm just going to build all these things so we can move on. And so we've built the stuff we need here, and that's looking good. Everything is fine. And what I'm going to do now is I am actually going to take a blueprint of this. Here, actually, I am first going to make sure that we don't have any of these annoying power poles here. That one. And then I'm going to place it there and there. Because that just shows me where I want the next ones to be, because they are both going to be coming in with copper and with iron for all of these, and then it's going to go down here. So this will be just fine, but this one has to work in a slightly different way than the rest, because I am going to have to get some material in here. The stuff that we have already produced, I am going to need to make sure that that continues to flow, because otherwise I do not have any iron, and I want to make sure that this one gets priority. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to feed it these 3 lanes in here, and like that, which is why I can't do, let me think. Yeah. There. Is that correct? Yes. And I will be input. Where's the last one? And this one, oh, right there, of course. Right. So this will go in, it'll be in here, it'll get spread out, it's going to be awesome. I think everything is going to work. And now we are kind of ready to go out and build the next part. This one has just, yeah, a lot of stuff ready for build. I think I actually want to build a train at this point. So let me build that here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be a good start. And then we are going to, oops, I got 37, that's fine. And, well, that's as far as we got right now. So what it is we want to do at this point, I want to make sure that we go all the way down here, cross here, make a T intersection, not quite a T intersection, but I want to make sure that I can come from this location and out, and this location and out, or from the outbound and into the right hand side for iron, and into the left hand side for stone, copper, and eventually also coal, I think. Or maybe coal has to go here. I think coal might be going in this one location, I think. And that means I need to do a bit more off-camera work, because I want to make sure that we can actually focus on the stuff that's important. And that is how do we tap this one? That's going to be one of the bigger challenges of making something that's robust. And I actually have a masterclass for that. That's my tileable mining operation. But it's going to need to get some changes to it. So that's going to be something we have to do to get over there. But there's going to be just a bit of laying tracks here and here, and then I'm actually going to, if we look at this, I'm going to take my city block pattern out here as well. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to need to have radar. Well, I don't need to, but I want to have radars, and every time I don't do it, then I kind of regret it. I'm not going to build my sacred path out here, but I'm going to make all of these things, which is going to be a bit of a drag right now, and I don't think I would sort of recommend doing that, but I like doing it because it gives really a nice aesthetic feel to it. So that's what I'm going to be doing, sort of taking these so that I get the trains coming out here into the middle of this lane and then going this way, and then we're going to be taking a look at how this is going to be working. So there's going to be a bit of a clearing for us getting that one sorted. And so we've now built a few spare tracks here and there, blown up a few forests, you know, the usual. I am going to hitch a ride on my new glorious train and see if we can go out and see what we have out here. So we're going to just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. All of this obviously not going to be made yet, because we want to get robots so that can be made for us. So we build the bare minimum of what we want to do. Here there's an intersection. It does not allow to go across, because that's not really something you'd want to do. Here's a branch off the main line, and we go out here into, ta-da, this location. So this location, that's where we will build our mining location, and I am going to make it weird, I guess. I'm going to try to see if I can make what I want, because I have a masterclass called Tileable Mining something, and I want to do that, but I want to make it myself. So that's always going to be interesting, right? And I don't know, probably maybe something like this. Basically, the idea is, okay, so the first thing I noticed is that I haven't even cleared enough. I thought I had cleared enough, but it's not even close. Okay, so the idea is that I will have 4 lanes of mining in here. I think I'll build it with just like this. 1, 2, 3. That's 2 lanes. That's 3 lanes, and that's 4 lanes. These will come out somehow here. Oops, let's make it virtual first so we can shuffle it around a bit, because it's already now quite evident that it's not going to be right there. It's probably more going to be like this. Okay, and those damn ones. Then at this point, I'm going to merge it into these 4 lanes into a 4x4 splitter. Let's make it right there. Again, I want to make everything virtual because then I can shuffle it around as I need to. There. Do we think that's fine? Yes, we think that's fine. Now I need to make the 4x4 splitter, the one that is a bit weird. So let's see if I can remember it. I know it's symmetrical, so if I can make it symmetrical, I think it's something like this. There. And then, does it rotate? No, it does not rotate. And then this one has to go under. Yep. And then it just goes out. What about, what's gonna go on in the middle ones? Oh, right, that one goes here. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to clip it along the mid-axis. There you go. I think that's fine. And I think I need to take this out as well. Just want to make it as close as possible to this location. The one I have built in my masterclass is for late game, so that is exclusively for blue belts, and I'm gonna make it for yellow belts, but I am going to, oh, you know what, actually I think I want to go like this, because then that means when it gets blue it could actually just skip those 2 levels there. Yes. Oh, well, that's not working. Ah. Yeah, we'll build it like this then. Okay, so now I want to build up here. Maybe that's not easy to build. We need to, oh, I can't even do that. So this one, I think we'll just agree that this has to be the way it is. All right, here, that's the furthest over. So can this be 1, 2, 3? Nope, it has to go a bit further over. I want to make it as short as possible. There. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Let's get that. And unfortunately, this is one of those things where if you don't copy this build blindly, because I do have a feeling that this one is not great. This is what I'm doing here is a 1-to-6 splitter, and I'm not super happy about using 1-to-6 splitter for stuff like this. It just seems, first of all, it's super annoying to build manually. See, this is the next part. I'd like it to be closer to that one. Yeah, okay, so much for this one being, oh. Okay, copy this part, yeah. And we'll take all of this out and then try again, moving it just a bit south again. Delete here. Yeah, that's more like it. That's more like it. There. All right, I'm gonna copy this to here, to here, to here. So much easier drawing with ghost belts. Also, it's easier to remove them again once you make a mistake. There. So it goes in here, goes straight into this one. That, oops. That gets taken out. And there. All right, so the point of this one is that. Okay, now we need to go back. Go back on this one. We're gonna need to get some here. And there. No, still ghost. And this one. Do you want to make lights here? Yeah, let's make lights. Bad location. That's better. So, like this, I guess. Let me just try. Yep, they are connected. Boom, boom. And then obviously it has to be exactly the same up here. Now we can make a bit bigger build. That one and that one. So this part, if I do this one, the idea here is that I can now build it exactly like this. Yeah, and then I'll pretty much take the entire build out here, and yeah, it's pretty good. This is the biggest one, so this one should be applied to the other ones because there might be some few places that could have gotten more. There we go. That is a pretty damn big build, and it'll have 2 stations here. It'll go nicely in here. The idea of this is how easy it is to scale this up, and if I had to make it bigger, it also has the added advantage that if you come back much later, and then, or not much later, but when we get several of these, then we can use some conditions to open and close these stations. And oops, well, I guess we are going to build it now. So right now, I'm going to make this simple train station. This is a simple train station. There are 2 of these. And I could, and actually maybe I should make it so that they open and close, depending on what's there. But at least I think that it's, yeah, you know what? I think this is super awesome. This is super awesome. All I need to do is now build it, which is going to be like crazy annoying, but we'll do that. Let's build it so we can see the whole thing, and then I'm going to hook it up afterwards. So now I've built it. Took a bit of time, but it has now been built. And what I have now is, oh, by the way, I should mention that science is stuck because there's nothing to research. So yeah, that is what it is. I'm calling these just mining and an iron. And then I'm going to limit it to 1, so that if I have 2 trains, one goes into one and then goes into the other. We do not have enough power or we don't have any way of powering it yet. So I can't go out here, so I'm going to have to build it here, here, and... Oh, come on. Don't stand on belts when doing this kind of thing. And I'm going to do the same thing for this one, which of course should have been done before. There. It's going to be exactly the same. And then all I need is just hooking this one up to one of these lines. And maybe that'll actually be... Let me just check something. Let's check this one. Yeah, it's close enough. There and there. Ta-da! The whole damn thing kicks into gear. It does present a little challenge. That challenge being, okay, by the way, we don't have signals yet, but that should be easy to get signals. Should have gotten signals first. Sorry about that. And they're going to be out here. Yes, they just want to go out. And I'm going to take this. I'm not even going to make it a non-change signal because I just want them out on the main line. This one here. Boom. So they are going to be filled in here. We are going to see a lot of increase in power and also increase in pollution. Absolutely a gigantic increase in pollution. That is what it is. This one though has to be here so that it controls whether they go into one or the other. Let's look backwards. That is enough for one, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not enough for two. So I'm gonna have one train here, and then if I have another one that can wait here and another one wait here, that is going to be fine. So what this one is, it's actually filling these two up, and I'm setting these. What I'll do later on, I've set a limit of 1, so it can be 1 train for each. That means I can put 2 trains on this network and everything is going to be fine. We are going to take a massive hit on pollution. It'll just start spreading from here. It's going to be fine. Right now the objective is just getting it operational, and once it's operational, I think we'll be fine. This one will now go to that one until full. Let's get there. And then this one until empty. I'll just set them in the correct order. And that's basically going to be how we do this. I think I want 3 trains, if nothing else, just to show that there can be 2 trains waiting and then 2 trains loading and 1 waiting, and that should be fine. So we're going to keep this here. How long is it going to take for it to load? Okay, let's wait for it to be done loading. And the train is full and we are ready to head out. While this one was filling up, I just made this blueprint. So what I've also done is set the relative grid position and set it for 28 tiles wide or high, which means that you can now stamp this down again and again, and it will sort of tile by itself as long as you hold it down. So that's just making it nicer, and I'm going to put that, of course, into the blueprint book that is available in the description below, so you all can get all the juicy things we built here. And we have our first iron train in, our first train schedule, our first, all of this setup. I think that I'd really like to, let me just run through it so that I can get run over. I'd really like to get 2 more trains in here, and I think I can do that. So let's jump up here, get 2 more trains, and then put them out so that we can say we now have sort of more of a train system instead of just having a train. Then the A train there, that's 3. That's 1 too many. And this one is that one plus that one plus that one. That's 8 here. And then we just need some fuel. Actually, we can just grab that from the bus. We have some coal, not a lot. Oh, okay, that's plenty. And just snatch it from this line here. That is excellent. Inventory full, that is to be expected. And let's build some more trains. 3 trains, that should be good. So from there on, we are obviously going to want to do the same thing for our copper, but we don't need it for copper as much, to be honest, because copper is not running out and is not being used as intensively as the iron is. So let's not worry too much about that. Here, that one goes here. These go out here and there. And I need to find the other train. Where is the other train? Let me just check that out. And can I just schedule copy, paste? Yes. And I'm going to take that one out, and it's going to go to this one. And the other train. Boom. That one. And there. That's also going to go out. Should I hit a ride on it? Yeah, let's just hit a ride on it, just because this is the glorious thing we just built. Destination full. Oh yeah, that's true. Its destination is full here, because each of those are reserved. So right now it's just going to be stuck. It's something that's definitely going to be better later on. What I also like to know is whether these ones are actually full. And so what we're seeing now is as soon as one of these trains fill up, this train will dispatch. It would be nice to have it sort of waiting here instead, which we can do by just saying 2 here and 2 here as well. There. And now we're heading out towards one of those locations. And that is going to be where we are wrapping up this episode. I hope that you have enjoyed it. I hope that you found this to be inspiring and maybe educational, who knows, or maybe a bit entertaining as well. We should be seeing that we come into this one, the one that's open. And we've actually just from from this. Of course, we're going to have a bit of an issue with the biters, but we've built a very, very solid iron build that can feed us for a very, very long time. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and I hope you want to check out my next episode. If you want to be part of the design process or just the absolute mayhem with biters spawning and bombs dropping on my base, then do check out my Twitch channel. It's on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8 p.m. Central European Time. So maybe I'll see you there. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and stay effective.